sunshine. So today I'm going to be doing a first impressions with new Colourpop's No Filter foundation and their No Filter concealer and their two No Filter powders. They have a pressed powder and a loose powder. So we have 4 products that we're going to be doing a first impressions of, and I'm really excited because this is Colourpop's first foundation ever. All they've ever done before is lipsticks and eyeshadows and highlighters and blushes, so it's really exciting that this indie company is getting into foundation. Now, one of the most amazing things that I think is really cool that Colourpop is doing is that they have 42 different shades for people to choose from, and this foundation is only $12, so I have no idea if it's any good or not, but if it is any good, it's $12, girl, and that's really affordable compared to like high-end brands like spending $42 on a foundation kind of nonsense. So I know Colourpop has a lot of great products out there. I've tried their eyeshadow palettes and I've liked their eyeshadow palettes. I love their lipsticks. I've never actually tried a highlighter from Colourpop, but that's something that I should probably do. But with that said, I wanted to take a second and I wanted to do this video and I wanted to show you guys, and I'm really, really excited to try out all of these products. I am not, however, going into this with high hopes with the color matching because I really, really suck at color matching. Especially since my skin has gotten darker because I tanned. Like, I knew what my skin color is when I'm not tan, but I'm tan now, and so I did try to do the color matching online, and I love the option that Colourpop did. Like, they literally showed you what like each shade looked like on different models. Like, they had like a picture of a model for every foundation shade they had, and I thought that was really, really helpful. So I do have a little bit of hope. However, I know I'm not that great with color matching, so online is really, really hard, so I don't really have super high hopes. However, I am really excited to try this foundation because supposedly it's supposed to like be matte, and I don't know. I'm really excited to try everything. Okay, so before I actually get into reviewing the products, I wanted to take a second and talk about my skin. As you can see, I have acne-prone skin, very oily. I have large I have large pores, and I'm having a breakout right now. So literally, this is why I thought I would test out this foundation. I'm like, I'm having a breakout and there's a crap ton of redness to my skin. Why not test out this new foundation and see what it can do for us? So with that said, this foundation is $12. The concealer, the No Filter concealer, is $6. This powder and this powder are both $9. This is a No Filter setting powder, No Filter sheer pressed powder, and I just dropped my earring. Actually not going to do any primer because when I first test out a foundation, I want to see how well it works with my skin before I give it a little helping hand with primer. So I'm taking it out. Also, first of all, I love the packaging. It reminds me of like not cotton candy, of peppermint, because it has like the stripes and it's this gorgeous soft pink and it's so pretty. So, and that's with all of the packages. However, the foundations are more of like a beige shade than pink. Okay, so here is the foundation. I haven't tried this out and I'm so, so excited. So here's what the packaging, the outside of the foundation looks like. I love the little stars. So pretty. I don't know, guys. I really hope this will work. Okay, so I have a damp beauty blender. It doesn't come with any specific instructions or anything like that. It doesn't come with any recommendations. I didn't read the website. So I'm just going to put a couple pumps on the back of my hand and we're ready to test this guy out. Okay, so it might, I don't know. I'm excited. Okay, just put some on my beauty blender and we're going to bounce away, bros. It's a little dark, but hey, at least I won't look like a ghost. I mean, I can work with a little dark. Hopefully, I don't know. This is a lot dark. And what shade is this? I got shade Light 70. And it's a little too dark for me. Okay, so I was able to cover half of my face, like so full coverage. I really like got it in there with 3 pumps. Now I'm gonna say when I first did the 3 pumps, I didn't expect it to be this full coverage. So if I was looking for more sheer coverage, I maybe would have gone like a pump and a half. I feel like a pump and a half would have been nice, but I mean, like, I was able to go all the way down my neck. I have to say, so far, besides the color match, and I feel like on camera it doesn't look that bad, but like in person I am looking a little bit orange, but now that it's drying down a bit, the orange isn't terrible. Like, if I blend this down my neck, I could get away with this, definitely. When I first came out of the bottle though, it was like really too dark and almost orangey looking my skin. But now that I have it on and now that it's blended out, it's like not horrible. It's not a horrible match. I would definitely maybe go a shade or two lighter when I order this again, if I order this again. So for color match, it's not horrible now that it's drying down. However, I probably would go another shade or two lighter. Secondly, pores. Again, I have no primer on, and I have to say, my worst area is literally like right here and like my nose too. The only problem I'm having is like, I don't know if you guys can see, but like right here, I have like 3 pores that are really, really big. But besides that, like everything is like, I mean, you can still see that I have texture under my skin, but this is not settling into like fine lines. It's not settling into my pores. But I do feel like it's not doing a great job of hiding my texture. The most important thing to me when it comes to a foundation is getting that full coverage, because I cannot tell you how many high-end foundations I've bought. And like if you guys look at my cheek here, I have a lot of hyperpigmentation, and literally my cheeks are always the worst spot on foundation. Like when I try out new foundations, I always struggle getting enough coverage on my cheeks just because like all of the scarring and all of the redness. There's a lot of full coverage foundations that I bought that are like high-end that don't give me the coverage that I'm looking for. However, I am not having that problem at all with this foundation. Like everything's covered. I mean, you can still see my texture, but I mean, like besides that, like I have like 3 pores right here, and keep in mind I don't have any primer on, so I don't know if you guys can see, but I have like 3 pores right here that you can definitely see, and normally I would put primer over them and that solves the deal. But my worst area is literally right here and on my cheeks, and this is not settling into my cheeks. It's not settling into my pores. It's not settling into my fine lines. Like I am covered, and it's a nice like natural look. For $12, I am not mad at all. So I'm going to go ahead and apply it to the other side, and then we're going to see what the concealer looks like. So this is what the foundation looks like on my entire face, and again, I'm not having any problems with it settling into pores. I'm not having any problems with it settling into fine lines. It is covering up everything. As you guys can see, I'm having a breakout right here, and this is all covered. Texture-wise, you can definitely still, you can see that I still have pimples underneath, but the redness is gone. I don't have any dark marks showing on my cheeks, which is a huge win for me. Literally, I bought the Tarte Shape Tape foundation, and I still had that problem, and I was so frustrated because they were like, yeah, this is really full coverage, and here we are with a $12 foundation, and I am full coverage. I look natural. I really am so happy with how it looks on my nose. Like, look at this side of my nose. I have some old nose ring scars, but I don't have any like pores. Like I really have a lot of big pores in this area, especially right here in my cheek too, and I'm not having any of that. Now that we're getting to the concealer, I'm a little afraid that that's not going to match my skin, but here's what my foundation looks like alone by itself without anything on top. Definitely feeling like I'm afraid to open up the concealer because I don't know if this is going to match, but we can make it work anyway. So this is the concealer that I got, and yeah guys, I think this is gonna be too light. I got this in light 16. This is the only one like that was close enough to my skin tone left in stock, but we can make it work. So there's no stars on this, but it does say Colourpop No Filter Concealer. And this is going to be really light, but I'm excited to see how it does, getting rid of the dark circles under my eyes and how it all blends together with this foundation. Having put on this concealer, I have to say I'm really excited to blend it out. But first thing I want to say is I really, really like the applicator on that. Usually when I use like those type of applicators, I feel like there's a little bit of tugging at my foundation, and I might have a little bit of a problem with my foundation lifting. But I didn't have that this time. Like, I feel like the concealer glided on my skin really, really nice. And I'm really excited to see how full coverage this looks because I feel like just putting it on, it looked really extremely full coverage. However, as you guys can see, this concealer is going to be way too light. But that's okay because we can fix it by just putting on some more foundation on top just to balance out the color so I don't look like I'm like orange, white. But again, color matching online is really hard. So far, I'm actually very impressed with how easy this is blending out. It's literally blending out into my skin like butter. Concealer literally is magic. It is not settling into anything. Oh my goodness gracious. Holy crap. Like, I'm covered. I'm so happy because literally I have so many problems with everything like settling into these, this area on my face, like with my pores, or I'll look like it'll really settle into my fine lines and then it'll make me look a bit older, which is why I don't ever really bake, because I just like to let my concealer like be my concealer, and I don't want to like bake it just to take the chance of like where I look powdery and cakey, and I don't want that. However, this looks so natural on my skin. I'm honestly shook because I did not expect to get this type of results out of Colourpop. I am shocked. Oh my goodness gracious. And it's not like my foundation isn't lifting, so like my dark circles aren't coming through, but my dark marks aren't coming through either. It's literally like full coverage on top of full coverage. Not to mention it blended out so easily. Like, I have a lot of problems where usually something that full coverage sets really quickly because I always have my fan on. So like I constantly have air blowing on my face. However, that blended out really, really easy. Next time I put on that concealer, I definitely wouldn't use as much because it was so full coverage. I usually have to layer on my concealer to like get the full coverageness that I want, but not today. I got dark circles covered. I've got everything covered, so I have a nice like base to start putting on my makeup. I am so incredibly impressed with the foundation and the concealer. This is literally magic. Okay guys, I'm gonna do something that I like never do, and I'm gonna try baking underneath of my eyes. So this is the Colourpop No Filter setting powder. This is $9, and then I'm also going to be setting the rest of my face with a pressed powder, and this is the No Filter Sheer Pressed Powder. This is also $9. I got this in shade light, and then I also got this in shade translucent. So this is a translucent setting powder, and this is a light sheer pressed powder, and it's really informative because they're like, girl, we don't want you to forget what shade you are. Boom, light in all capitals. So here's what the pressed powder looks like. And oh, it comes with a really nice mirror. Here's the powder itself. So we also have the Colourpop No Filter setting powder. This is 0.3 ounces. This isn't a whole lot of powder for setting powder. However, it was only like $9, so I'm not gonna like knock them on it. But again, we have the pressed powder and we have the setting powder. And the first thing that I'm going to be doing is setting my under eyes with setting powder. I don't ever do this, but because the concealer is so nice, we're gonna try it and we're gonna see how I look. I just wanted to give you guys an update of what my face looks like after concealer, but no powder yet. So as you can see, I look so natural and nothing's settling. So I am a bit nervous to bake, but we're gonna do it anyway. So I have my powder in my lid, and I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna set our under eyes. And while I'm waiting for this to set, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to set my face with the Colourpop setting powder. And this, I just have a Crown foundation brush I got in my BoxyCharm. So here's what my face looks like after applying the pressed powder and the translucent powder. I did use a translucent setting powder and I used a light pressed powder, and I definitely am looking a lot less orange, and this definitely matches my natural skin tone so much better than just the foundation alone. So this is something that I would definitely feel very comfortable wearing out. I do look a little powdery for my personal preference. It's nothing terrible. I just love applying a glowy illuminating setting powder over top a matte foundation to kind of bring some life back into my skin. However, girl, I'm full coverage. I'm not cakey. We don't got any powder settling in our fine lines. We don't have pores exposed. I look like a doll, and I love this. I mean, I look like a doll with some texture, but if I didn't have like Fred hanging out right here, girl, my skin would look so, like, it does look so amazing. Who are we kidding? Oh my goodness. Okay. So here's what my skin looks like after all of the foundation, and I am so impressed, especially since everything was like so cheap. Everything was under $15. Literally for all 4 products, for the setting powder, for the foundation, for the setting powder, for the pressed powder, for the foundation, and for the concealer, I spent $36. which is literally 4 products for like basically the price of a high-end foundation. And for some high-end foundations, you don't even get coverage this good. And I am so happy. I'm so blown away by the foundation, because not only did it leave me looking natural, it didn't settle into my fine lines, it didn't settle into my pores, and I don't even have a primer on. I don't think I've ever found that happen before. Like, my nose looks so good, and my nose is literally the worst part when it comes to pores, especially also right here where I have pockmark scarring. The concealer, girl, I'm sorry I'm saying girl so much. I'm literally just so excited. The concealer was a dream to blend out, and it was so full coverage. I put on too much, but literally it was so full coverage, and I look balanced out, even though the concealer was a tad too light. So I'm not even mad that like I made this mistake. Like, it literally looks so good. And I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you guys, like, when I have my natural makeup on, when I add some bronzer and blush, we're gonna show you what that looks like all put together. So this is what my foundation looks like after I applied the rest of my natural everyday makeup, and I have to say I look so incredible and I feel so great because I don't feel caked. I don't feel like I'm putting on a whole bunch of makeup. My skin, like, I can still feel my skin underneath all of the foundation that I'm wearing, and I look natural. I look great. I look flawless. And the concealer, after I put on the foundation, the powder foundations, it balanced out, so it doesn't look like super bright and like it doesn't match my skin at all. Just like we know that it doesn't, but it doesn't look that way. I look natural. I look flawless, and I'm so incredibly impressed with this foundation and these concealers. I mean, the foundation and the concealer, like, heck yes. And this really helped balance out the oranginess of this foundation since it didn't really match my skin tone. But now it looks like this looks like it matches my natural skin tone. Like, this is very similar to the shade of my skin underneath all of this makeup, except less red and less pores. Look how good my skin looks, guys. I'm so incredibly impressed. So here's everything. Here's my natural makeup with the Colourpop foundation. I look so good. I love this foundation. I am so incredibly impressed, and I'm so happy. Have you guys tried out this foundation? Did you guys know that Colourpop released concealer and foundation? And if you have tried, I would love to hear what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. What did you think of it? I can't wait to hear from you guys because I'm so incredibly excited about my own experience with this foundation. I can't wait to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next video.